Tamara here, nice of you to join me, and a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today. Now, this video is going to be a project that I have been doing for Graphic 45 as one of my assignments, and this is going to be the little tea bag holder gift bag. I don't know really what else to call it, but I think that's what we'll call it. So this is a little tiny gift bag that you can put tea bags in. You can put little chocolates in. You know those, you could even put one of those biscoffy little biscuits in. They would fit in there nicely. Gift cards. You can put in there maybe a lottery ticket, or some earrings, or a ring, or anything like that. They'll all fit in this little bag. So I've actually made mine up to resemble a little tea bag with the little tea bag string on the outside, but there's nothing stopping you punching 2 holes in the side and then adding a handle on here and making it into maybe a little handbag or something like that. So it's quite a versatile project to make, and really quick, and it takes 1 sheet of your 12 by 12 and you've still got some left over. So let's chat about what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using the Let It Be collection, which is the Keepsake kit, and in with the Keepsake kit you get exclusive metal dies, and my metal dies are here because I've been using them. I haven't actually got the packaging, but so you get 4 metal dies in here, and they're border dies, and they cut like a dream, I have to say. So you get 4 dies in with your kit, plus you get step-by-step instructions if you want to make the project. That's included in there. Then you get 16 double-sided 12 by 12 sheets of the lovely pattern paper. You get 8 double-sided patterns and solids as well. So you get the ephemera set and the Let It Be sticker set as well. So it's quite a lot of things in here. Plus you also get the lovely plastic wallet that you can keep all your cut pieces in as well. I won't keep it there too much because with my lights it gives a shine. So lots and lots of things in there that you can get. So this is going to be my project. So I'm going to use a bit of everything that comes within the kit. So let's show you, Tamara, let's show you the project that we're going to be making. So on this one, I've added some of the ephemera on the outside. This is the chipboard straight. It's not chipboard, but the hardboard ephemera piece. And I've also used one of the die cuts. This one is the hexagon, and what I've done is I've embossed it with some gold embossing powder, so that you can see that there. Then added a few bits of Glossy Accents inside, and then I've added some wax cotton cord just as my closure, and then I've used a bit of the ephemera on my the end of my string. And then when we open it out, I've left the inside plain, but there's nothing stopping you going to town and decorating it up. So they house 2 of your tea bags, and I've got some fruit tea here inside, but as I say, you could put in some little chocolates, anything would go in there as well. Now I've got mine with a extendable gusset, but you don't need, you could either have it as a full rigid bottom if you wanted to. You would just have to admit one of these score lines. So that's that one. And then this one here, I've used again the dies, but I've just used the butterflies, sorry, they're not butterflies, are they? I've just used the bumblebees, and again I've embossed these with clear embossing powders so that they create a glossy shine. And then again you can see the inside there. It's nice just to showcase the papers as well. And then this one I just went quite very plain and just added again one of the ephemera pieces and then the hexagon border die as well, and then just a sentiment I had in my stash. And then you just open it up. Now this one I've run out of tea bags, so that one hasn't got any tea bags in. Oh, and then I've just used one of the little stickers on the end there. I'll get it in my hand. So a little bit bumblebee there. So let's go ahead and make them. So you'll need one sheet of your paper, whichever paper you're using. So I'm actually going to be using this one to make my one online, or on the video. So all you need is your scoreboard, your cutting trimmer, and we're going to cut it down to, so this is going to be my 7-inch line, so we're going to cut this at 7. Okay. Keep that to one side because you can use it for a different project, and then you're going to cut this down to 10. Okay, so you end up with a rectangle like that. Now for this one I am going to use my scoreboard, and I'm going to score on the back side so that you can actually see my score lines. So I'm scoring first of all with my 10-inch side up against my scoreboard, and I'm going to score this at 4.5. Now do you remember me saying that if you wanted a rigid bottom you would need to just leave out the score line? So if you wanted a rigid bottom, leave out this 5-inch score, but I'm going to actually put that in. So 5 inches, and then one more at 5.5. So you've got a 1/2-inch gusset in between. So turn them over, or turn it round or rotate it. So you've got your 7-inch along the top, and we're going to score at 2 inches and at 5 inches. Now you will need your scoreboard for just one more score, but we'll do that in just a second. So let's put that over there out of the way. Now just go ahead and fold all your score lines down and burnish them really well, like so. And then the inside ones. Now the inside, so I've folded the 5-inch one first, so I folded that one way, and then I'm going to fold the next score line the other way, so that we make a sort of concertina like so. Okay, so then you end up with something that looks a little bit like that. So just reintroduce those other score lines there. Okay, now to create my little, the slant that makes it look a little bit like a tea bag, I'm just going to use my tool, my corner, this isn't a corner, my angle tool, and I'm just going to line the top bit up here with the side here, and then that's going to give me an angle. Now if you don't want to use a craft knife, you can use a pencil and some scissors and do it that way. So I'm just going to mark that off and then just turn my tool around and mark there, and then you can just use your scissors just to cut off. Now this one here doesn't look as though it is the same. Just, there we are. That's better. And then you can just trim off that excess part, and again with that side. So then that's created a nice tag. And then we are going to just fold the inside pieces down. So you've got your tag like, or your piece of paper like this. Let me just move it over a little bit. And it's this bit here. So this bit, we're going to fold down so it joins that score line there. You're going to do the same with this side. Like so. And then, we haven't done this one yet, but I'll just do those two so that you can see. So then that's your tag. Now this is where you need to bring your scoreboard back in, because we are just going to add our score line at 1/2 inch on this protruding bit out. So just put that score line in there. Okay, and then do exactly the same with the other side. Make sure I've got the right one. This is two different. Okay. One. Just go and cut that bit off and cut that bit off. Now another thing you could do is you could just use the bit that you've already done as your template if you wanted to. That would work. Make sure I've got these in the right order. Bring that up. And then just burnish that down, and then I need to just add my score line. And again, that's just going on that edge. Oh, let me fold these ones down first, that would help. There we go. And then we can do that score line at 1/2 inch. Push that down. And then just fold it over, make sure you've got everything in the right order. Fold that bit down. And there we go. So I'm going to turn it this side. So that's looking good. I like the depth on my angles there. So next thing we just need to add or to do is to just glue these flaps down. So glue these flaps in place. So they've been glued in place. Now, before we glue anything else together or down, I'm just going to bring in, I've cut these out. Now these are measured at 2 7/8 across. It doesn't matter so much about the depth, but just make sure you've got that 2 7/8 across. And then that's going to fit inside like that. And then that goes over the top. So, but we're not going to put them in yet, because what we need to do is add our little label hold. So I'm just going to add this in here like this. Make sure I've got it, there we go, in the centre. And then to do the other side, I'm just going to use my crocodile and line them up, and then you can punch your hole through. And then the next thing you need is some wax cotton cord, which I've got here, and I'm going to go with, now go with the white, because it would stand out a bit more. I have got some yellow, but I haven't got it here. So just cut a little bit off. And then going from the back, I'm just going to push that through that back hole, open out, and then I will add a little bit of double-sided tape just to keep that in place. And then you can see then where that little insert piece comes from. So we'll add that on. Now if you want to ink your edges as well, I did forget to do that, so I'm going to ink this one first of all. There we go, just around them edges, and then I'll add my glue. Now don't worry if it comes above, because you can cut that down in just a minute. I'm just going to add that. I've come up a bit too far. There we go. Yeah, come down. And then you can add your glue now onto that folded over piece, like so. And then see where they come out, just cut them off with your scissors. So where that angle is, you can cut that bit off, and do the same with this side. There we go. So that's your back. Now if you've got directional paper like me, make sure that the back is the one that's upside down. Okay, and then you've got the front here. So let's carry on with the front. So add your centre piece in here. Oh, before we do that, nearly did it, we need to add our brad. Now if you want to, which we could add, I think what we could add is a little circle over underneath the brad to help with the closure mechanism. So if I've just got, now this is just 1/2 inch, so I'm going to do, I'm going to cut 4 of these out and stick 2 together. Okay, so 1, 2. So add your glue, and then we'll put the hole in just a second. And then bring in my other tool, which I can place over that, line it up, and then just poke your hole out, and then add a brad in the centre. There we are. And then we can add that in on this side now. Oh, before I do that, let me just ink the edge. There we go. And then we can put it in. And then add the legs down. I will put a bit of double-sided tape over that, those legs, just to keep them stuck. And then we can take that bit off, and then we can add our next feature piece. That's going to go over like so. And then you can add then this part. Add your glue to the glue tab there and push that down. Okay, and then just burnish them down. Next piece, what we have to do is add our glue to the big long strips here. So you glue on one side, So I've glued next to the edge on one, and then on the top side, and then next to the edge on the bottom part or the next part, and then you can fold that over and then just burnish that down. Oh, don't forget to cut off those corners there. 1, 2. Now you just need to add now your little dangly bit that goes on the end of the wax cotton. So if I find I will just pull them out very gently, because I want to find a small little element. So we've got bees. Actually that's not too bad. Ah, there we go. Well, we can use that circle. So I'll put these ones back in the box or in the bag. I didn't take them off the backing board, so that means that I could put them back in quite quickly. So we can then put this over the top. Now we'll add just a black punched out circle just to cover the workings out of the back of the string. That's the right size as well. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue. Like so. So then that is your little handle done. So next we need to just find a nice piece that can go on the front. Okay, I've chosen my ephemera piece that I'm going to put on the front. So I quite liked this one with the little beehive. I think that was really good. So, and I've also, what I've done is I've also cut out my dies as well. So I've got this one here, which is the bees. There we go, you can see it better there. And I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glossy, not some glossy accents, I'm going to add some clear embossing powder just to make it a bit more shiny. But what I need now is my embossing pad. So I'm just going to add it to the back there. Okay, I do like this Wow embossing powder, it's really good. So just grab my embossing powder and just going to just sprinkle that on. So tap it off. I don't know if you can see, you can just see how glossy that's now made that. So I'm really happy with that. So if you wanted to reapply it, then all you would do would be to add a little bit more of your embossing ink. So let's do it, and then dip it back into your embossing powder, or dip it rather than pour it, and then just reheat it. So that's that. Now I've also got the hexagon, so I don't know whether to emboss that in gold or leave it black. So let's have a look what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have it coming up like that, within that on there, with the sentiment and then the bees around it. I think that looks quite nice. So yeah, I will emboss this. So this is going to be in gold. Okay, just add your embossing ink to the back of, or the front should I say, not the back of your cutout. So for the embossing powder, what I'm using is a glittered embossing powder. Now I've not used it before and the results are actually quite amazing. Ah, I am loving that. I have to say, that is one really shiny piece of paper. It really is. So let's start to assemble now. So that's going to really make that stand out. So we're just going to cut this bit off at the bottom here, like so, and then we can then add that on like so. So now this is just going to be added with glue. I'm going to put it there. And then I have got my little topper here. I'm going to add that with some foam tape just to give it a bit more dimension. So you can see the dimension on that. And then I've got my bumblebees now, so I'm just going to cut around those bees there, and then do the same with this one. And then while that's heating up, so then these can go on like so. I'll put them there. And then I've got some little tiny sentiments. So I've got gold ones, or I've got black with white, or white with black. So I think the white ones would look okay. Now with these ones you can ink over them, which is quite good. And I'm going to put Let Life Surprise You. And that can go there. Now we'll just add, just on the edge, just a little dusting of black ink, or you could put it up a little bit further up here if you wanted to. Actually I might do that. I might put it there at the same jointy angle, which looks quite nice. And then add our, hopefully this is now heated up, so that goes on there. And then hopefully this is now heated up a bit. Stick that there. And then that can go that way. Like so. And then what you could also do is maybe put one on the little pull as well on the back here. That can come up the top and just go there, and then that is your little tea bag holder. And then, as I say, you can either put that up there inside, or have a little pocket down here and you could stick it there. So I hope you've enjoyed this little tiny tutorial on making a little tea bag holder. That is all now finished. I do love this glittered embossing powder. It really does make everything stand out towards the back. So if I put that down, it's really, really shiny. I love it. And yeah, so this is a great gift to give to your friends and family. And yeah, just really, really handy little tiny project to do. So thank you ever so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and most definitely subscribe. It really does help my channel grow. And visit the Graphic 45 YouTube channel too, because they've got a wealth of knowledge on their channel from loads of amazing designers. So please don't forget to check them out. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing today, please have a really good one, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye bye.